It's over!
It's over! It's over! That's what I'm saying, boy! Oh! He got dropped! It's over! It's over! Munoz! Oh my!
We need to stop ignoring some of the special fighters that are coming out of Japan, like Rei Tsuruya. There is a lot of talent in the East Asian MMA scene, and the UFC has capitalized on that with their Road to UFC series that they've done on Fight Pass, and it's become another great talent producer for the organization who has already kind of mastered the prospect development and scouting in that sense. But at only 21, Rei Tsuruya is an extremely accomplished grappler already in his career and a great mixed martial artist. In his undefeated 8-fight pro career, he's finished 7 of his opponents. His pro career started in Japan in Deep Impact, where he'd reel off 3 straight wins in 2021 at only 20 years old, and he finished all 3 opponents. That would quickly have him scooped up by Pancrase, a very well-known mixed martial arts organization dating back to the start of MMA, and he would go on another tear in that organization for his 2022 campaign. He'd submit Tayaka Akiba in the first round, and in his fights, the youngster always seeks to use his grappling from the get-go, and he uses it to control almost every single fight, keeping it where he wants to and dictating positions. In this first round submission win for his first fight for Pancrase, however, suffering a pretty significant scare, almost getting stuck in an armbar, but again, with good submission defense, he was able to flip the scripts and still get the submission in the first round. He'd quickly then follow that up with a co-main event win against Masatoshi Ueda, and he again landed a takedown right away. And once he gets these regional competitors to the mat, he dominates, controls, and finds a finish, this time finishing with strikes in the very first round once again. Rei would be monikered the Young King by Pancrase, and in his final fight for the organization, just one fight after, in Pancrase 330, the next event after his last win, the 13-year elder Satoru Enomoto would be his opponent for a flyweight world title in Pancrase, and he would only really get an extra round in because ultimately he would be controlled and dominated again by Rei Tsuruya and finished in the second round this time via strikes. And Tsuruya was very emotional after the win, capturing silver, I gotta say in this case, for the Pancrase flyweight title. And surprisingly, the normal route for East Asian MMA fighters who are on the younger side with a little less experience in mixed martial arts, they would go to an organization like Rizin and chase gold there because Rizin's talent is kind of near up there with some of the best regional organizations in the world. But instead, Rei Tsuruya found a gold mine in Road to UFC, a tournament-based Dana White Contender Series basically for Asian MMA prospects. And instead of it being dependent on the flashiness, the showmanship, or the ability to talk shit, for example, this is a tournament-based job opportunity where you need to win your fights, you need to win in cage, and they've used it to fill out a lot of their Asian mixed martial art cards. And Rei Tsuruya would not disappoint in the spots, being able to display himself in front of millions of UFC fans. He would be able to show off his elite grappling skills in the flyweight division. Now, we all know flyweights are some of the most well-rounded fighters in the UFC. In the lower weight classes, there is really no holes in any of these guys' games. It's just who's more elite in one aspect of mixed martial arts, and Rei Tsuruya fits that mold with his grappling. In the first round of Road to UFC, Tsuruya took on a former member of the Indonesian National Army. Ronal would serve as the quarterfinal opponent, and Rei's style really just kept up in this fight, was able to take him down, and he was able to land a submission in the second round. And I cannot emphasize the showcase of dominance that Tsuruya put on in this fight. The takedowns seemed to come easy to him, and this was the best of Asian talent the UFC could find to put against him. And even the submission was set up beautifully, trapping the arm of his opponent in his legs and forcing a brutal submission. This was a standout performance for Tsuruya in his career, securing himself a spot in the semifinal to meet American Mark Climaco. And to be honest, Climaco had a very impressive 9-1 record. He had 5 wins in the LFA, only 1 loss in the LFA. And the LFA is extremely tough, but Rai got right to work immediately, wasting no time getting a takedown in the first couple seconds of the fight, transitioning from the shot attempt to take Climaco's back. For back-to-back fights, Tsuruya tried a twister attempt once again, a testament to his grappling creativity inside the octagon. Nonetheless, still securing an easy 10-9 first round in my books, but the second round was contested more on the feet. I still think Tsuruya won, but I got to give credit to Mark Climaco. Out of all the opponents I've seen Rei Tsuruya fight, Climaco put up the toughest fight. And then in the third round, we saw a scary strike out of nowhere from Climaco, landing a head kick and dropping Rei to the mat. Rei with great recognition of the spot that he was in, went straight to his wrestling and was able to survive to the end of the third round and pick up a unanimous decision, 2-1. But this was a very close fight and clearly his toughest to date. And now he is set up in the final of Road to UFC for his next fight. Let me know, do you guys think he has enough to win that? And how far do you think he can go in the UFC? But that'll wrap up today's video, guys. Remember to smash that like button, and I'll see you in the next one.